All right with that.
All right, let's go. Game 2, Virtus.pro versus Ninjas in Pyjamas. A very aggressive lineup from NIP, we have to say. They did get the Bloodseeker that you have been talking about. You think this hero is just sick, right?
It is so good. It feels like the way to play against him is just, it's so annoying. At some point, somebody's going to get low in the lane. And you're going to deal a lot of damage. And in team fights, where things are chaotic, if you don't take him down first, it feels like he just kind of runs around at ultra haste.
Yeah. And when you say low, I think a lot of people don't fully understand the threshold of thirst.
Yes.
Low is below 75%. That's when he starts getting thirst stacks. You think you're like, you're just taking a little bit of harassment back and forth, but in some other lane, the Bloodseeker has begun to run faster and faster, and your offlaner has begun to get more and more scared. That offlaner is going to be Resolution. Virtus.pro, though, are going to fight over these bounty runes with the Skywrath Mage and Solo's Warlock. They're going to try and pick up all of them. They do manage to get only 2 of them. Resolution gets quite low, but they may still be able to get the first blood on Fiverr. Oh, high ground miss, but another shot from Solo. That'll finish it up. First blood for Solo.
And once again, another blood right thrown out, but not going to connect quite yet.
That, my friend, was steak.
And Solo will make his way over to the top lane where he's going to be babysitting Epileptic Kid on the Phantom Lancer, a hero that we don't see a whole lot of lately. When do you think this is picked up?
Just because of the current crop of heroes, I feel like they play out a little bit faster. They offer a little bit more team fight, but this feels like a hero that he is especially comfortable with.
This is a terrible start to this off-lane save. Forced back to the fountain because of this defensive tri-lane from Ninjas in Pyjamas. So Resolution is going to have to do some sort of pulling shenanigans if he wants to get his very crucial level 2. But I'm pretty sure that Peter Pan Dam already knows what's going on. As you said, our mid lane matchup, the Gunner Tiny versus No One's Invoker. Just trying to get CS under tower right now. Is this a good game for Quaswex Invoker?
I'm trying to think. I guess it's actually pretty good. He has a lot of different things that he can deal with, as Rezo's just going to go for the TP out in front of the creeps too, so Beaver can't really cancel that.
No blood for you.
A lot of these heroes are pretty dependent on the mana. Sanking and
Tiny. The Tiny, the CM's got one of the lowest int gains in the game.
Yep.
It's not bad against the Mirana. In terms of the Bloodseeker, it resets the fight hard, and they don't have the easiest ways until Axe gets more levels and items anyways to set up for Sunstrike kills. So I think they actually need a hero that creates tempo, and they want a hero that can come down to this bottom lane and mess with the Bloodseeker, because I actually feel like they've got quite a nice kill combo. Skywrath Mage plus Axe. You bring any one hero into this, and I feel like this should be kills.
Absolutely. Maybe that's why they start off with this defensive tri-lane from Ninjas in Pyjamas. They know how potent the Axe Skywrath Mage duo can be, particularly to a somewhat fragile core in Bloodseeker. And they'll just let Universe do the old solo off-lane bit that he's done so many times before in his illustrious past.
And mid, he's looking for it, but might not really find the angle, as he is spotted out by the ward the entire time. We saw this last game too on his Rubik. He was waiting for it for such a long time, and instead gonna head towards bottom lane. They should have spotted this with the ward too, and as long as Rezo isn't caught out.
They still surprise him here with an arrow. Blood right going out. Not gonna land.
And the arrow whiffs too, and it actually looks like NIP take more damage for their troubles.
Yeah, this is really just not a good start for their defensive tri-lane whatsoever. Yes, Skeeter is being able to get a lot of experience because they're keeping out of the creep range, which I think is quite nice of them. But Axe and Save Skywrath Mage, they're still closing in on their level 3, and that's where a lot of kill power comes in.
Did I hear
PL getting absolute free farm. Axe keeping up with at least the Sand King.
Sentry up the top lane. Universe knows about it. He's just going to TP back.
He's going to miss so much XP for this, though.
Yeah, that's going to suck. He may actually just sit in base and buy boots so he can get back to the lane faster.
And he does do that indeed, as he's going to walk himself up, crab legs and all. Save going to run into Beaver here, who does have leap now. Doesn't have to be too careful of this is he's prepping the arrow right now.
Fighting just a bit. We are out of mana on the Skywrath Mage. She's only got one clarity to work with.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
No one denies the rune so that he can get back to his mid tower in time to get that 1 CS. And CS-wise, I mean, it's going in favor of VP. They got the first blood too, so the gold lead's going to be right there for them.
Not terribly surprising that no one just continues to win mid matchups against some of these younger mid lane players like Gunnar. Top lane, Universe.
Doesn't have TP.
He's still inside that sentry range.
Doesn't have a stun
Trying to
either.
run out of it, but he's just dead. Too much damage.
That's a huge death. Gonna have to.
Yeah, he may need somebody to buy a teleport for him, because
All the banner runes are coming up, and it looks like Rezo's gonna fight over them.
this could be Nip. Getting 2 of them here in this bottom side since the Warlock is already secured.
Still, this tri-lane, not getting any kills. This is a kill-based tri-lane too. Like, that's
Yeah.
where they're gonna get the majority of their XP from. It's not like Skitter's getting uncontested farm either. Like, the Axe still has 12 CS, and the PL is doing much better than him.
At the same time, it is 2 different supports that can play off of jungle, which I think is rather unusual. So they're not as exposed to that that experience deficit. They've been able to farm up some hard camp creeps off of the arrow. And Peter, you can always do that with a frostbite as well. Bite Me says no one as he managed to get a tornado EMP onto Gunnar. Gunnar turns around, throws his full combo at no one, but the damage is already done to his mana. He's now out of it, and no one will naturally regen up thanks to the 3 levels.
They should know about that ward, right? I mean, they just watched PPD walk all the way up.
Yeah, probably.
Gunner's gonna get an arcane rune for his troubles too.
Universe just deciding he can no longer play in lane. Is going to be sandstorming his way through the jungle.
This feels so bad. Just because you're in a 2-on-2 position, Warlock's just gonna continue to pull. Beaver's still only level 2, 6 minutes in. You have to get a kill for this to work out, but no one with the ward right there knows all about this. Just has to play in the creep line. Has to be a little bit careful.
Bottom lane trying to get aggressive on Skeeter, but they have to keep that pressure. Otherwise, he just blood rage heals off of some creeps. That's why it was all important for them to be able to defend this Bloodseeker in their first few levels, keep that pressure off of him.
Yeah, and no one's gonna see this again. And he's trying to bait him a little bit.
Yeah.
Make it as though he
They do
doesn't know
manage to
about
get
it.
the arrow thanks to the avalanche into toss combination.
Won't have damage.
Solo is here between the Quas and now that Shadow Word. If anything, it's going to be Gunnar who may be dying as no one chases him up into the high ground with help of Solo. One more avalanche, though, to be able to create a bit of distance.
This is a level 2 hero. Like, the Mirana arrow doesn't really do anything. As Save might go down too, does get hit by the arrow. They're finally gonna pick up some kills for themselves.
Boy, they needed that so badly.
They really did.
I mean, there's the little things like, yeah, Sand King can jungle relatively efficiently. And yeah, they can farm off some neutrals with those supports. Gunnar almost going down, gets the trees in time. It's actually gonna be bottled up, so no one may not expect this, but he does see the arrow coming, so he's fine. Once again, that vision on the high ground has saved him so many times now.
And now Solo actually has been left to his own devices at top lane, and it's gonna be the Phantom Lancer that makes the early rotation into the jungle. Maybe worried about the Sand King stun, as we see here again. I think no one saw it, and he didn't really care.
Yeah.
He sees a level 2 Mirana, no Starfall.
Especially the Quas Wex Invoker that's so tanky with those levels of Quas, and having a defensive rotation from a support like that.
Yeah, making that play though probably cost Rezo his life because of how low the Invoker got.
Yeah, that's true.
Sped up the Bloodseeker.
VP just doing the strong laning phase things. This is something they've kind of always been known for. I'm sure a lot of that influence comes from Solo. They are going to try and punish Solo for soloing up this top lane, but they don't quite get him with the arrow. And now, as a result, they may be in trouble. As Epileptic Kid comes on in, Only 1 level of the Spirit Lancer, but 4 levels of the Phantom Rush means as long as he has vision of Viper, he should be able to keep running him down. They have the Blood right, but it's going to be too late to save the Mirana. They will get some damage onto the real Phantom Lancer. A little bit more. They actually throw out the Rupture, but it looks like on the wrong hero. They actually hit the Illusion. Now Skater's going to get caught Tornado on through. Universe just hiding in the Sandstorm of the back lines, but he can't actually save the Bloodseeker at this rate. Oh, Burrow Strike up in 1 more second. They're going to try and stop out Invoker. Do manage to get him with the arrow immediately afterwards, so they do trade cores. Now they're going to try and chase down Solo, but nice use of the Shadow Word, TP out. Just too much heal over time for them to be able to burst him down.
Both teams reacting heavily to this. And Rezo's gonna finally get some farm as a result. He knows that everyone has made their way up to its top lane. I'd like to see him even skip the wave after this lane.
Yeah.
And start to pressure that tower because NIP are stuck up here. Now they're gonna be in a position where they wanna pressure their own tower. You're gonna see the replay again?
Fight again. I mean, this one of the big things is the Epileptic Kid came out of it okay, right? He was able to get this kill on the Mirana. He doesn't get hit by Skeeter, who went for that Rupture, went for the Illusion instead of the real one. And
I think he didn't realize it first.
Yeah.
Oh, he actually missed.
he was like, oh, I don't actually have to TP out. And eventually he was able to just return and keep farming up that jungle area and continues to lead this top lane for Solo, who really just wants the experience for his level 6, but he's not going to be able to get a toss forward. And the Bloodseeker will run him down. They're going to try and trade off some towers here, though. It's a good opportunity for Resolution, who hasn't cut the creep wave, and as a result, hasn't been able to really go for this kill on Peter Pandam, but they should soon. With the concussive shot.
Regeneration.
They can't really afford for Ninjas of Pyjamas to just take control of this top lane and continue to let Peter Pandam pull creeps off the tower.
Yeah, this kind of passive game is going to help him out. They don't really have an offlaner that can pressure him. That's why Save is down here. They want to get this kill. Save's game also has been hampered quite a bit. Only level 4.
Certainly going to need that tome for our Skywrath to finally get that kill combo. They also need the space for Resolution because he wants to be able to get his Hood of Defiance. After all, it's a lot of magic damage on Ninja's Pyjamas, so he needs to be able to get his Hood of Defiance before he goes for the Blink Dagger, and the Blink Dagger is what really enables this Skywrath.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
That killing duo with the Siege Wagon pushing in. They're definitely going to go for the dive here, and it's just a question of how ballsy is Peter going to be. He's going to Crystal Nova, try and kill some of the creeps, but he very immediately dies, and the TP is going to be canceled as well.
They should just trade towers now.
Yeah.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
That's exactly what they're going to do. Skeeter's already up top. He's going to use his wave, pressure this out, has 3 levels in the blood right.
Dire's top tower.
The advantage is Ninja Pyjamas always taking better opportunity of the jungle areas, because the Mirana, while she's top, is still farming up the jungle and not interfering with Skeeter's experience. Universe is doing the same thing with his Sandstorm. So while both teams have to commit, Ninjas of Pyjamas are just able to get that little extra bit of efficiency constantly. Tornado EMP. Gunner says goodbye to his mana by throwing out the combo instead of just losing it to the EMP. He knows he's got that Crystal Maiden Arcane Aura anyway. 2 levels of it from Peter Pandam. 3 levels in the Crystal Nova. Still wants to be in fighting shape, wants to have a big impact with that AoE spell.
Both supports playing around each other.
Is under attack.
Not really a target for them to easily go on. They want to make a move towards mid, take this mid tower, get even more space, start to sandwich NIP into their own triangle.
Dire's top tower is under
Save, gonna
attack.
run into
They're gonna be
PPD.
spotted. They're gonna try and blow up Peter. Should be able to get a lot of damage out of that Mystic Flare. One last shot for the Arcane Bolt. This is gonna be enough. He does have stick charges. I think he actually lives through this. That's why a second bolt is required to be able to get that kill. But Solo, he came forward. It's actually kind of in a precarious position. Almost got traded out there if Universe's TP had spotted him. Nice aggressive vision though down from VP inside that jungle area.
And this is all just creating more and more space for this Phantom Lancer. Universe trying so hard to catch up. I mean, his laning phase was completely ruined. He had a TP at a top twice. They're gonna go for the smoke, lay down the sentry for any sort of vision, and I think you might want to go into the triangle. It looks like they're trying to go into their own jungle side, see if the Bloodseeker's out there. But as we know, he's in the triangle area. Establishing your own vision back up here too isn't a bad idea, considering how the PL wants to farm.
You think Phantom Monster takes more advantage of the safe lane jungle in that regard, or what do you mean?
I mean, I kind of want the PL to be between mid and his own jungle, rather than going in this bottom area of the map, because I want his hero to pressure. He's the strongest hero on the map right now by far. He's got 1k gold lead over everybody. And you sort of want Rezo to just own out this area.
Well, he is getting closer to his Blink Dagger. He's not a lot of free space, and Ninjas of Pyjamas feels like they're the ones who should really kick it up a notch. Start finding these rupture ganks. They're going to try and set up on mid if they can get the right opportunity here. Maybe a quick kill onto no one with the use of the Blink Dagger up the Tiny. The arrow comes in. The rupture as well, all being used to make sure that no one can't go anywhere and will die to the blood right. But now the turnaround with a Warlock Golem being dropped in. A beautiful Fate of Bond flashing onto all 4 of these heroes. If they actually could just see him, it would be an opportunity for multiple kills. But sadly, the Moonlight Shadow will prevent that.
Very, very nice use of the first Blink Dagger pickup by Gunnar. Calls his team over, easy combo for them. It's PPD, he's really far forward, but it doesn't look like they've got a Blink Dagger on their axe, so no way for them to catch up.
And if you're NIP, don't you just like force the same kind of move sometime soon? Once Rupture's back up, they won't have the rock anymore. And I think that, especially with no Blink Dagger on the axe, there's not a whole lot of turnaround potential. They can initiate on the Invoker. That's their most important hero right now.
Yeah, the PL isn't really in a position where he can 1v5 quite yet.
Yeah.
If the Invoker only gets Tornado off in that fight, quite happy about it.
The scary part of fighting a Phantom Lancer when it comes to his mid-game timings is all around that Diffusal Blade. He has Manta, Diffusal Blade, or maybe a second agility item. That's when the damage starts becoming real. Oh, he's actually not going to go for the Manta first. He was thinking about it, but Diffusal Blade.
Maybe he thinks he just needs more damage in these fights.
Yeah. Understandably so, especially since you're still holding your mid tower, getting this earlier, faster build. You control that mid tower longer, you can control your own jungle longer. Solo is going to get picked off by the rotation from Nip. From behind, they're trying any way they can to be able to find an opening to take full control of this mid tower, and that's exactly what happens. Now VP, all they can do is just play in the enemy jungle and push out this bottom tier 2, but a clear win for NIP. Maybe back-to-back victories. We'll see. NIP are going to smoke up his 3-man, start heading down to bottom, but if they don't bring their Bloodseeker and Sand King, this may turn into disasters. They're going to run into the full 5-man.
They can't TP, and if they run into Save first, this might be an ideal situation for them. The smoke's going to break. Save's going to see them first.
Does get Avalanche before he can get off any real spells. Support already down, and Virtus.pro have teleported their cores away.
Yeah, this is going to signal the full retreat. Once Save goes down like that, you don't know how many heroes are down there, and Skeeter's getting really close to the Radiance. You don't really want to force a fight when your Bloodseeker is that weak. Like, he's got so much net worth tied up into nothing right now.
I love this. They make the play on mid, they smoke up, head bottom, now they're Moonlight Shadowing, trying to maybe get into that dire jungle area.
Yeah, it's going to be spotted though, because Skeeter showed himself bottom. The pings already came out.
Yeah. Well, Radiant sooner for them, but Virtus.pro, they finally have a Space Maker on their team. The Axe has a Blink Dagger. If he could just pair up with his Skywrath Mage, maybe even the Warlock can join him after all. He's got his Chaotic Offering ready to go. They're going to bring no one along for the ride too. They want to get almost everybody involved in this. A 4-man aggressive play to be able to create some space for this Phantom Lancer.
The prize is mine.
But who are they going to run into? Universe, if he shows himself here. But he doesn't. He slides into the trees.
Feels like we're getting into a similar situation as last game. Both teams just reading each other a little bit too well.
Yeah.
Not enough initiation on the side of VP. They just got the Blink Dagger on the Axe, so they've just sort of been waiting around. And NIP's going to read that. They're going to go for more plays of their own. They've had the Blink Dagger for some time on Gunnar. They haven't found the targets that they wanted. They're going to make an aggressive move into the triangle, which always a little bit dangerous, just because you're potentially fighting under the shrine.
Universe, he's trying to go for that cheeky, just cutting creep ways, but almost getting caught, but Resolution completely whiffed that one. Now they no longer have a call, but they do manage to stop his TP. Universe thought he could actually go for it and fade back into the Sandstorm in time. No such luck, though.
Gonna give the last hit to the Phantom Lancer as well.
Dire's
And he almost got out of
bottom
that.
tower is under attack.
Yeah. It does manage to pull pressure off of that tower. And VP can't go back for it because there's more pressure at the bottom lane.
And like you said, the Mirana just continues to arrow creeps. Not
Dire's
even in
bottom
that bad of a
tower is
position
under
when it comes to
attack.
farm.
Yeah, he's almost got Yules. It's pretty big.
Yeah, he's really close to the Yules.
He's gonna break the smoke through with this positioning. They're gonna blink on top though. Great read by Resolution, holding in this Mirana. Now they're gonna try and get a little bit more out of this one.
Solo's just gonna confidently walk
Solo
in.
is just like, I want to force the fight right here. And oh, he tries to get off the chaotic offering, almost gets bursted down, but finally he does get it off now. Gunner, he actually gets away from all of that one. Solo dropped the golem and will be able to walk it off. Gunner is probably just gonna get kited down now as he, oh, the toss forward, not quite enough. They had a rain drop on Solo, so he still survives thanks in part to his Shadow Word and the other part to his infused
Skeeter's
rain
gotta
drop.
get out of here. And the tornado whips. If he had sent it down, would have found him. That would have been such a big pickup, so close to that Radiance. It's gonna help Universe out as he's just gonna crab walk his way towards mid, farm out again, but this is VP finally getting aggressive with their items.
Vanish.
What I kind of appreciate is that VP has a strong read of how NiP want to play, and so they're 5-man constantly. There's
Oh,
just
they actually see Epileptic Kid.
yeah, this would be massive. They're gonna lead off with a Frostbite, follow up Burrow Strike into that freezing field. So much AoE damage, but Epileptic Kid, he's very tanky. He's got a Hooded Defiance plus 2 Wraith Bands.
Know which one the real one is,
Know
though.
which one the real one is. They're gonna rupture him up. Blood Rhino as well. No opportunity to be able to doppelganger. Tornado coming in.
Tornado goes to the
Bloodseeker. It went on top of the Sand King instead, but they needed to stop the damage up. That carries
Arrow
very
hits.
low. A blink forward from Resolution, dodging that avalanche, a toss away from Gunner's gonna be able to buy Fiverr some time here. Solo starts healing up a bit as he's kind of willing to tank one for the team if necessary.
If that tornado hits, maybe VP can turn things around, but really well done by NIP. PPD finding the real one, and Gunner stepping forward for this rune might cost him his life.
He's very tanky. He's got level 2 growth, so the physical damage just doesn't do enough. 22 armor on that hero right now.
Wants to get rid of the Battle Hunger, does so. And a pipe picked up by Rezo.
The Radiance is almost here for Skeeter, but you have to worry about the fact that you are so far behind this Phantom Lancer, who, like, eventually he will outcarry this Bloodseeker, right? As soon as he
It
gets
depends
that
if he
hard
finds
timing.
the Rupture. Like, who
Yeah,
gets the
that's
jump
true.
first? If they can find the real one, then it's not that hard at all.
Yeah.
Shot.
We're gonna get spotted here. No one. Scouting forward.
No tornado available. Still on cooldown.
It just feels a little bit awkward when they have to initiate.
Yeah.
By the way, PL has completed a hood.
Yeah. That's what made him so tanky in that last fight, but still wasn't enough.
Almost has the Manta now, too.
That's another big upgrade. He's level 15, the 275 health mixed in with the 20% evasion, as well as the Hooded Defiance. That's just like peak health efficiency right there. But with the Radiance now online for Skeeter, all that AoE damage that they already had coming out from the Sand King and the Tiny and the Mirana and the Crystal Maid. Now the Bloodseeker can join in on that party with his damage over time. Let's just have a party up here in the Dire Jungle. They're gonna move forward, leading the way for the Bloodseeker as he pushes in the way for the rest of Virtus.pro, heading down into the middle lane,
Radiant's middle tower
trying
is
to
under
even
attack.
things out by taking that mid tower. So we have a momentary pause.
Once again, both teams very evenly matched. And just the way that their lineups are sort of formulated, you're just not going to see those dogfights like we saw out of Beast Coast and Wind and Rain.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little bit more passive. They're going to wait for their core positions to get online. They're very item dependent on both teams.
Do you think that, isn't it kind of twice now that NIP have the more early or mid-game lineup, and VP have the more late-game lineup, and NiP had just kind of struggled to make things work in the early game?
Yeah, they're definitely taking this a little bit slower as NIP, look at this, they're holding the hill, they're hiding in the tree line.
Radiant's
No one
middle
is
tower
trying to
under
block off
attack.
this move, and they're just going to give up their mid tower for free. The only way this has to feel worth it is if you get top in return. They're hoping somebody was trying to connect the short way.
Dire's top tower, Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Even though you get a tier 2 tower, I feel like you want to save that tier 1 mid.
Yeah. Especially since they did manage to get the bottom tower at the same time, thanks to a heavy creep wave push back over to the top lane. We're gonna follow our Bloodseeker, who's almost dead. Here's the definite blast. Isn't quite enough. The Burrow Strike comes in, but it's not enough to be able to save the carry of NIP. Skeeter dying like that has now just led Universe to his potential death. The Avalanche coming out. Now the Rock is gonna be dropped right as 2 cores show themselves. Gunner's gonna try and TP away, but they all went for that because the carry of Ninjas and Pyjamas got caught in the first place. One by one, they all come tumbling down, and Virtus.pro.
He was way too far forward.
Oh, yeah.
This allows the PL to just farm up. They could even go back towards mid, push it out. Some pings are coming out from Universe, trying to alert Viver, who is farming the jungle still. He's got to be careful. He's very close to being out of mana, but the Ghost Walk is going to tip him off, and no one is going to all chat him just to let him know, I know.
Virtus.pro just seemed to be very successful with this style of having better late game and knowing the enemy team's going to be forced to make maneuvers and just, you know, playing 5-man, playing defensively on high grounds, just buying time for their carry to farm.
They're just abusing whenever NIP make mistakes.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It is definitely a forced errors kind of play style, and it does result in their cores being rather low on the net worth chart. We can see that this Aghanim Scepter is going to be a bit slow for no one. The Axe has had some.
I really like the timing of this fight, though.
Is under attack.
I don't know if NIP will see this coming because there's no Warlock Golem, so maybe they think there won't be a fight.
Good catch up the tree lines. They're going to be able to go for the tree line in. Manage with the Tornado to be able to grab a couple heroes as well. The Crystal Main just doesn't die fast enough, and Viver is going to be in a bit of trouble. They do have
how strong this PL is.
He is so big right now. He's ripping through these heroes with that physical damage. None of them really stand a chance. He just like popped them 1 second after the other.
There was no way they could have anticipated VP was going to be there.
Yeah.
They just thought, okay, they'll fight off the Rock cooldown, but VP was like, no, we're still strong enough. Our PL is so fight ready. And the downside of this like Radiant only Bloodseeker is, we talked about it with the Wraith King build too, this item, it doesn't do enough damage, it just helps you farm a little bit faster.
Yeah. It's really once you get your second item after the Radiant.
Once you get your BKB.
That blind call could have been so much worse, but the Tornado follow-up was quite nice. And as a result, they tried to jump on no one you saw there, but Gunner was just a little bit too slow.
Universe, one of their main forms of initiation, he was just gone on, blown up almost immediately.
Yeah.
Rezo had a pipe of his own. They didn't really mind standing under that sandstorm.
That recently acquired pipe now has led to a 7,000 net worth lead for Virtus.pro.
Yeah, and they're just falling further and further behind. They've almost got all the top net worth lead.
And they won a fight without Chaotic Offering. Now it's up. Just 5 seconds time, so they're ready to fight again.
The PL is so much bigger than the Bloodseeker.
Yeah, he's massive. Has a 4,000 net worth lead over the opposing carry.
He's got his TP cancel and his way to deal with the Bloodseeker one-on-one when he does get the BKB, which I'm a huge fan of. Maybe something like a Satanic afterwards would serve him quite nicely. He's gonna try to run in PPD, trying to get out. This would be pretty big though if NIP could just get out with no one dead.
All retreating to the trees, but this Ghost Walked Invoker.
Oh,
no one ran down. The truth was the Bloodseeker was farther up.
That's twice now. Skeeter's read his movement.
Viver's just going in deep into the enemy side with the remnants of this Moonlight Shadow. Finally has the TP back up and he'll join the rest of the team top. VP, they're making a fast move here to top lane, but NIP was already in position. If they can actually catch this Invoker, they do manage to get the Rupture onto him. Now Gunner's been controlled up by the Axe, yes, but somebody's got to get on top of this Invoker, but the Phantom Lancer's too strong. He's already chased away the Bloodseeker, and they've had to leave Gunner to die here.
No way you're gonna defend this anymore. They're not going to get anything more than this tier 1 tower unless they just straight up go into Roshan, which I'm not that opposed to. Rupture was already used. Their hero's dead.
It would require a monster epicenter to come in from Universe to be able to
They've got the pipe.
this.
And this early on, it's so nice against that Sand King.
Yeah, pretty much just 1-to-1 counters all that damage. looking like an impossible scenario for Ninja the Pyjamas to defend the first Roshan.
Yeah, and even though Viper was able to push out that top lane, I think VP saw their creep wave was nowhere near it. They'll say, we'll take this tier 1 tower, go for the Roshan instead. Aegis is going to be free for them. They already had so much trouble taking down this Phantom Lancer. It's not going to get easier from here on out. And look at how far down the Bloodseeker is. Just comparing him to the Phantom Lancer, still not that close to his BKB.
That's why VP just run at it. Every single time he shows up on the map, they know his timing window is coming up, but if they can delay that a little bit further, it may just solidify the game for themselves. I mean, I feel like VP already has, as this is looking very grim for Ninjas the Pyjamas. They're going to have to do some heavy outplaying, which they did manage to do a decent amount of in game 1. This one setting up right now on Viper. Viper not really sure what to do, struggling to slowly run back, but eventually some of the VP heroes may get here. Save's gonna move forward with his Glimmer Cape. Universe just waiting for no one to show himself somewhere. He's gonna pop that dust. Does manage to find him. The follow-up with the Rupture is there, so no one just has to stand inside the silence. But Resolution waiting for his opportunity to counter-initiate, but he goes to the avalanche, so he won't be able to get the call. Now the epicenter is out, slowing him down a little bit, but in for the back lines. That Phantom Lancer, the freezing field protects the Crystal Main a little bit, slows down his Delette, but eventually he will die. And now it's gonna be Gunnar cleaned up as well, unless the Moonlight Shadow. Do they have any vision? They're gonna be able to get the call onto him. That will reveal Gunnar quite easily. 1 for 2 trade-off. Again, they find this nice initiation onto the Invoker, but they don't have an answer for this Phantom Lancer.
Yeah, they just have to ignore him. Wherever he decides to go, it's full retreat mode. PPD was just trying to waste his time. Pops the ulti, gets all that armor. It's really the best solution right now.
Epileptic Kid's like, you know what? I don't need a heart. I don't need a Satanic. I can just build into a full Abyssal Blade. That'll give me a little bit of tankiness off the Vanguard component. But I can focus all on offense right now because I have the secondary life and Aegis.
That's how you know he's feeling himself.
Oh, certainly.
Plus he'll have, again, good way to go through the Bloodseeker's first BKB usage.
It's nice to see that Virtus.pro just like fully trust Epileptic Kid to carry this game. Like the way they just kind of insulated him, protected him with their 4-man, and said, we're going to sacrifice everybody else's farm just to give this young carry that we're trying out a chance.
His PL, by the way, looks so much more smooth than his Faceless Void.
Yeah, yeah.
He knows where to be at all times. His team fight seem a lot more clean. His illusion micro is very good too.
He just always seems to be coming in to the back line after Nip have initiated.
Yeah, and then he just sandwiches them.
Yep.
Makes it impossible for them to get out with just losing 1 hero. Look at how farm Solo is, by the way. 5-position Warlock, 2 bracers, a wand, and a mech.
Wow.
2,000 HP. I mean, no one's going down on their team.
Yeah, he's got the level 15 talent, the 60% experience, so they win 1 fight, all of a sudden you've got the level 20 talent. So Solo can just kind of run in, get 2 golems out with his net. Burst Strike. Only gonna hit illusions here.
But Universe not in the best position to deal with the tower push itself. Sandstorm wanted to be a little bit closer so that it could actually affect the creeps.
Yeah. Or even just start whittling away at Phantom Lancer's health. Tries it again, Blood right into Arrow. Good opportunity to get a little bit of poke damage, especially with the tossback and the Rupture, but he does manage to doppelganger forward onto the goal. Oh God, Gunner's just dead, and now they're gonna be able to get the Mystic Flare to finish off the Crystal Maiden, instantly buying back. Virtus.pro though have extended themselves quite heavily. Epileptic Kid, another doppelganger out. The Rupture is run out, and he managed to get a bash onto Gunner. Don't tell me he's gonna finish off Gunner twice. No, the Avalanche will make sure that he loses his Aegis here. The freezing field on out, immediately canceled though by that little bit of cold snap now called up, and Epileptic Kid gets that kill on the front lines. The carrier of Virtus.pro seems to be unstoppable. That's why Universe tries to go for the back line, tries to finish off, save that Skywrath Mage. He may not actually die here because the protection coming out from his team as they reinitiate off of Resolution to no one, controlling up Universe and chasing away both Gunner as well as the Bloodseeker.
They're doing their best, trying to hold on, but
Radiant's middle barracks.
they don't really have the spells.
Not looking
KB is still on cooldown. They could just back away. They don't really need to take this range Rax, but they're going to hard commit for it anyways.
I mean, they still have tier 2s up. There is really no sense of doing this. Okay, well, if they can get the kills and get out, it's fine. And they should be able to get the kill on Gunner, he's dead for 75 seconds. But Burrow Strike on Resolution, and Arrow as well. A Rupture on top of that. They are really
Protecting him,
throwing
though.
all their spells at one hero, and they can't fully commit. They're going to be able to use the BKB, but Resolution just made himself so tanky, and they might be able to get Skate who dies. Resolution will die to the Burrow Strike, yes, but the carry of Ninjas in Pyjamas is all gone. That piece of Phantom Lancer, well, shit, tier 2s are still up, but maybe we could just go tier 4s.
Rezo gonna buy back. They finally spot him. No way to dispel this out.
Buyback for the Mirana, but Universe is dead now. It's just the two supports who are going to try and defend against this. Now it's only Bimer who has to leap his way into the trees.
He doesn't want to give him the
Virtus.pro,
rampage.
they just go straight to the fountain, and they call GG to deny the rampage. A spiteful loss for Ninjas in Pyjamas as Virtus.pro walk away with a much cleaner Game 2 victory.
Oh yeah. Really liked how they moved around the map. The decisive maneuver into the jungle without the rock. Just going for it. Probably the game-winning play for them. And that engagement at top with the Bloodseeker, after they took the tier 2 tower, just way too far forward, gets called out.
And that, you know, stalling out his Radiance timing and in turn stalling out his BKB, that was just so bad for them. And it has to say, like, for Virtus.pro, this has got to be the ideal way to close out this series. A confident and clean victory. And again, one that is backed by your young carry, Epileptic Kid, who just destroyed that game. That's going to build the confidence, you know, over the mistakes of the past. You know, you're able to kind of wash that clean and say, hey, we actually are a team that can take on the best and take on Ninjas in Pyjamas, just dominate them. So, 2-0 for Virtus.pro. To the desk we go.